All right, so it is about 7 o'clock in the morning. Brian just got here a little bit ago, and we're about to start our work day. Except Brian's over here eating instead of grinding.
What do we need to do today?
What do we need to do today? What a great question, Brian. Necesito va a la escuela para que pidas fotos para la...
Sí.
Graduate kids in doing their last chapel or whatever they do. ASMR.
Some goat cheese? B-roll of cereal.
We should be, dude, we need to make a cereal B-roll video. Okay. Drop in the comments, cereal B-roll video.
Yeah.
Not the audio.
Too slow. Got him. Loser. The worst. Him, right there.
Alright, so a lot of you guys have been asking how I make my coffee, so I figured to show you guys because we gotta do what the fans want. I have like 2 comments on all the videos put together, so. You're gonna take your Chemex. We got our water heating up to 212 right now. Take our paper filter like this, fold it, and go, boom. Take our water. This is what's called hot water pouring through dry filter. What we're doing now is getting all the papery taste out of the filter. Some people don't do it because they like the paper taste. To you, I say weird. And also the hot water that we're pouring is heating up the whole glass, which will actually help the coffee be brewed in a more even, more smooth way. You're not using Starbucks coffee. Now, for the bloom, I'm gonna take the coffee and I'm gonna pour a bunch in there pretty fast, and basically we want to agitate the coffee as much as possible and fill it right when it's completely covered. Now we're going to let that sit for about 90 seconds. My little spoon. So the reason we would make coffee in a pour over rather than in a traditional coffee maker is number 1, you're just better than most people when you do it this way, and number 2, you can flex on your friends and show them like how refined and like artsy you are when you make pour over coffee. And we wait still. And for our last step, take the filter, fold it in, press down a little bit to get the extra liquid out. That way it's not leaking as you're carrying it to the trash can. And boom, look at the trash can. We have fat-free cheese in there. Transition. All right, and now we have our final version of coffee. Let's get a nice close up on that pour, Brian. Close up of the first experience. It's hot. Now, back to actual work. All right, I'm headed over to the Lutheran school to get some footage of the 8th graders. This is their last chapel before graduation. Meanwhile, Brian's gonna go hit the gym, probably doing leg day. And then I'm headed back to the house for another day of editing. It is lunchtime, time for break, and we have succumbed to literally microwaving a potato. I don't know if it'll explode and kill us. I'm not much of a cook myself, but I don't have much time for cooking right now. I actually do enjoy cooking, but currently I have no time to do that because I spent all my time editing. Also, I have hyper-focus issues where I get going on one thing and I can't stop until I'm done with it. So I will be eating a microwave potato and finishing the rest of my work till like 7 o'clock tonight. Yeah, so future editing Chris, that Chris just said like 7 o'clock tonight. It's like 9:30 right now. So I've made a couple of videos already about productivity, but another tip I have is if you're like me, when you find that time that for some reason your brain just randomly decides to start being productive and getting stuff done, take advantage of it and get as much work done in that amount of time as you have. Because there's just certain times when my brain will just instantly flip the switch, turn on, and start cranking stuff out. So just learn to work with how your brain randomly comes up with those times. Also, I was just going to grab a drink of water with my lunch, and I remember this interesting fact that I figured I would share with you guys. Did you know that you cannot buy Dasani water in the UK? And that's because Dasani
owned by Coke, was filtered water. So it's not spring water, it's just regular tap water that they filter. And people in the UK have traditionally had this weird bias against filtered water, and they prefer spring water in a bottle. Otherwise, what's the point of buying water in a bottle, I guess? Anyways, people were kind of biased against it as Dasani was kind of being marketed to the UK. And then right at the worst possible time, when Dasani was just catching a foothold in the British market, there was some sort of factory mistake that let out a batch of Dasani water with a pH level, I believe pH, don't quote me on that, was above the legal levels of selling. It wasn't deadly or dangerous in any way, it was just above the legal levels. And that really caught wind in the press, and unfortunately it totally destroyed them. Not that I care too much because Dasani is owned by Coke, just interesting anecdote that is why you no longer can buy Dasani in the UK. Alright guys, don't believe the article on Food Network that says you can microwave a potato. Well, I mean, you can, I'm gonna eat it, but I don't recommend it. Why would you film this?
Update on the potato. What is that? Sound effects.
You can cancel me all you want, but it doesn't taste bad.
Oh, did I forget to mention the glass of milk that he's drinking with it? Name a better duo.
That's a well-rounded meal.
Shout out to the Beatles. They're our biggest
Tag
fans.
them. They haven't been on tour in a while, have they?
Did they die?
Wait. Alright, lunch was weird, but kind of successful, so back to work. Well, except Brian's still making his lunch, so bread. Watch Brian eat it. That's probably gonna get demonetized. Let him cook! And it's back to the lab again.